My name is Douglas, and these are the little things. And today I'm toasting some little things from my car on my way into work, so you get the crappy iPhone front-facing camera quality and the sound of rain pelting my window. Oh, and we're about to enter a tunnel, so the whole lighting is going to change. Sorry about that, but I spent the entire day yesterday, well, the entire evening, with a friend of mine in the hospital. And while I wouldn't say it's exactly where I wanted to be spending my Sunday night, especially because I missed my usual recording window, I will say that I'm happy that I did it. I know he needed me to be there, and it was an odd bonding experience for us. We talked about some things, so I learned a lot about him, and he learned some things about me, which was pretty cool. On Thursday, I sent a message to the writer of our cover story. It's a story that is very behind, which is really our fault, not hers at all. So I said, I'm really happy that we're working on this with you because you're already familiar with us and the way that we work, and I can't imagine another writer being as flexible as you've been through this whole process. And she said, that's a really nice thing to say. Would you put that on my LinkedIn page? It surprised me because I've not been asked to do that sort of thing before. I do try to say kind things about our vendors to them because I know that we pay them, but we don't really often give them an opportunity to say, thank you. You're doing such good work for us. There's a reason we work with you as opposed to someone else. And so it feels good for me to be able to give them that level of reassurance or whatever it is. So it was good for me to be able to do that for her, and that gives her more opportunity to find more work. This reminds me of two TV shows, so I'll describe them if you'll bear with me for a moment. In one episode of Charmed, the characters get infected with the 7 deadly sins. I guess they're possessed by. And for all of them, they commit a selfless act, and that's how they lose their sin, because you have to be and show selflessness to be able to show that you're not just absorbed by that sin. And Prue says, well, I committed many selfless acts, and I was still possessed by pride. And they were like, well, all of the things that you did, your selfless acts, they were all to better Prue. They were all to go to feeding your pride. And in an episode of Friends, Phoebe is lamenting that there really is no such thing as a truly selfless act. She tries to do one by calling a telethon that Joey's working at for a cause she does not believe in and say, I'm giving you money, I don't want your cause to succeed, so I'm not getting any benefit from it, but here's a good thing I'm doing. And it gets him on TV, and she gets so excited that he got the opportunity to be on television, and then she's so struck down because she recognizes, now I feel good about the thing that I did. And I think it's a little silly, the concept that there isn't really a truly selfless act because it always is something that's going to come back and benefit you and make you feel good. And it's a little silly because when you're doing something that is good and benefits someone else, if you feel good about it, then you're going to turn around and do it again because you want that good feeling. If you didn't benefit at all from it, you wouldn't want to do it, and people wouldn't do as much good. So I'd say revel in the opportunity to celebrate the moments that make you proud. Here's what I'm doing. Here's the little things. At work, actually, I got a chance to complete one of the little writing projects that my boss mentioned. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And even though it was a very small thing, it was something I got to check off my list. So it's nice to be able to feel like this is something that I've been able to accomplish. Another thing that is not looming over me, that's a task that I'm going to have to complete. And I just love checking things off a to-do list. I don't really have like a physical to-do list that I cross things off, but you know what I mean. It's a nice feeling. And we're in a really good place. I think I mentioned this last week, actually, the same concept, that we're in a good place for this event that I'm planning. We met yesterday. The event itself is happening on Saturday, so 5-6 days from now, very soon. But we're not stressed about it because we've already accomplished so much that there isn't really anything left for us to do except get people there. But we're not feeling stressed, and that's so good since the event is so close. We actually were putting together the gift bags for the attendees, and so to do it, I invited my committee over to my house to do it. It was really cool. I've never really had, I shouldn't say never, I haven't had a lot of opportunities to invite adults to my house, because I've only had it, I bought it in July, and so having these adults come over to my adult house, I even offered them drinks, just felt so grown up. And I'm about to be 30, so it's nice to have those feelings like, yeah, you can be a successful adult. The event, as I mentioned, is for a choir that I'm involved with, and on Monday last week, we started the music for our holiday concert. We're doing the Magnificat by Bach. It's funny because I've mentioned it to some people and they're like, oh wow. And I've mentioned it to other people and they just go, I don't really know what that is. And I was one of them. But it's a really challenging piece. It goes fast, it's very long, there's complex harmonies going on. And so it's exciting that the director has challenged us with this piece because he's saying, you know what, even though your holiday concert is less than 2 months away, you're going to be able to put this together. You're going to succeed at it, and we're going to sound good. That's pretty cool, because we only rehearse once a week. Now, granted, he says we should be practicing outside of rehearsal, so hopefully in this series I can say, hey, I spent some time on Wednesday doing our Magnificat, so that was pretty cool, but I didn't do it this week. These have been the little things. I'll see you next week.